Yeah, so I'm Captain Scott Pearson. I'm from the 14th Combat Support Hospital out of Fort Benning, Georgia. I'm a physician assistant here to help work with the Senegalese Army with a good understanding of the emergency room and the operating room services. Up to this point, we've had a really good relationship with the Senegalese Army. The provider staff, the nursing staff, and the whole hospital staff has been more than welcoming of our presence. They're willing to show us the way they do things here. The environment that we're in is a different resource environment than what we're normal to operating in the United States. But it's important to us to learn how to do the things that we need to do without the resources that we're accustomed to. And their ability to show us how and why they do it and add that to our already known understanding of how to do these procedures is only going to improve our ability to adapt in environments that we find ourselves in the future. So far the experience here is, it's been on par with what I expected. I think that, with talking with the providers, there's a lot of, they know what they want to do, but they just don't have the resources to do it the way that we would do it or the way that they would really want to do it themselves. So the challenge is, there's an understanding of how you could best improve this patient's outcome, but without the ability to intervene on that, just because it's just not there. We had a situation within the emergency room, it was an open lower extremity fracture. They had a Capt tourniquet that was placed, but it was not adequate enough to control the hemorrhage. And so we immediately said, hey, do you have a second Capt tourniquet? And after discussion with the providers there, they only had one Capt tourniquet in the emergency room. Now, their interventions with the reinforcement of the dressings led to a successful outcome of the patient, resulting in amputation. But it's difficult to see that you know exactly what you'd want to do, but you just don't have the resources there to do exactly what you'd like to do. So it was good. If they had any opportunity to come here, I'd absolutely say take it. This is a great environment to work in. Again, the Senegalese people, the staff that we've worked with have been more than welcoming to our presence and willing to show us how and why they do things. It's to prepare them for that, just say, hey, have your mind wide open. Bring the things that you know and understand, and then apply it into this environment so that you can only get better at your job. And again, sometime in the future, if you find yourself in a situation without those resources, you can apply what you know and learned here and be successful at it.
Local Senegalese?
Not to this point. I think with as a physician assistant, you're the fast fill. When something needs to be done, you just do it. If it's helping the surgeon out in the OR, or helping the nurses and the medics in the ER, or directing your team within the ER, that's just our job, is to adapt and fit in where it needs to be fit in. It's just kind of our role, but I've enjoyed it every bit of the way. This has been a wonderful experience for me. We've been really impressed with their knowledge and their ability to do their jobs. There's been some opportunities to do some rounding on the floors, and the attending, the residents, and the medical students. It's just exactly what you'd see in one of the medical facilities in the United States. They are, critiquing, analyzing, discussing, providing information to make better decisions to impact the outcomes of these patients. So it's spot on with what we do, and it's great to see. Yeah, I think our team has been able to attribute to the team here of the Senegalese Army by, showing that our presence and our willingness to learn from them just as much as we're willing to teach them. I think it's important to understand why they do things the way they do, and to apply those concepts and techniques to areas that we may find ourselves without the desirable resources. It's a never-ending process. Partnerships are built every day. It's about being present. It's about being open to the way they do things and communicating, which can be an issue, especially when you're, language barrier. But the communication of caring is universal, and we've definitely demonstrated that, and they demonstrate that to us. So it's been extremely beneficial to us to be here. I think the things that they've taught me, it's just, you broaden your mind. You understand that different countries may not have the things that you have, but they're doing a good job. They're doing the best they can with it. I think that the techniques, when I'm without something that I'd like to have, I'll reflect back on my experiences here and understand how I can best adapt to the situation. But it's a never-ending process. It's lifelong learning at its best, learning from a different country and a different way to do things.